right, I wanted to say hello to everybody and welcome them to this new quarantine kind of inspired show I want to call Hanging with Herb. And it's going to be a time where I get a chance to hang out with some of my good friends and introduce them and let them talk and give the world an opportunity to get to know you on a off the stage kind of a deal. And so that's where we're at today. And today we're going to be talking to a world-renowned saxophonist. And he's done jazz festivals everywhere. I've seen Portugal, Ghana, Netherlands, Uganda, Indonesia, and probably a number of them here in the United States as well. Smooth jazz cruises all over the world for over a decade. Shared the stage with many jazz greats and legends. I could just read them off, but it's so many of them. We'll talk a little bit about them. The one that really that really inspired me to even get into jazz is the one you're touring with now, and that's Earl Klugh. I had a friend, Lionel Horn, who introduced me to jazz, and the first one I think that I really caught on was Earl Klugh, and fell in love with his playing, and then had the opportunity to attend one of his in a jazz club in California. Just great, and I've been in love with it forever. So anyway, who I'm trying to bring to you is Tom Braxton. Tom, how you doing? Tell everybody what's going on in your life.
I am very pleased to be here and to be a part of Hanging with Her. This is top shelf. I mean, this may be the pinnacle of my career to be on this.
It is as of today, so don't worry about it.
But let me just as far as Earl Klugh, I mean, it's amazing. It's a dream come true for me to be able to be on stage with a jazz icon of his caliber. I mean, I played with him on a smooth jazz cruise in 2010, and it was great. I mean, had a great time with him, just loved it. But I didn't think anything else of it. And then in 2013, I got an email from his manager, and she said, yeah, can you fill in on this gig? And I'm like, absolutely. And little did I know that, wow, I filled in on that gig, and they called me to do another one. Then next thing I knew, I heard her talking to somebody else saying, well, we're just loving having Tom in the band. I'm like, oh. I'm in the band. And so I'm on stage just pinching myself going, I'm touring with Earl Klugh. I mean, it just hits you. So
right.
What a masterful musician. I mean, he is just in a class by himself.
Let's talk a little bit about me and you, the things that we've done together, the things that we've known each other from. I know we go back to AHA, where which is American Heritage Academy, where I was the basketball coach there, and you were the fine arts director. And,
yes, sir.
We had many great years of time there with you, and I think the highlight was when you brought out your marching band.
Oh my gosh! Well, what an opportunity. I mean, you and I part of Covenant Church, and
yes,
they started the school, and they asked me about being the band director. And I remember my wife and I were praying about it, and we're like, okay, is this a move we should make? We laid it before the Lord. Everything. It's like, yeah, this is something I needed to do. And so, what a great experience! I really enjoyed it. We touched a lot of kids. I think I'm still seeing the fruit from that. I'm still seeing some of those kids that we dealt with and touched. And boy, God did so much with that school. Wow.
In a short period of time, maybe, I think it was a 12-year period that they were open. I was there 11 of them. How many, were you there from the beginning?
No. I was there starting in 99. So I was there for 10 years. And I mean, the athletic championships, the musicals, the performances, the academic prowess that the kids achieved. But you were the one that kept me going many days. I'd come in there like, oh my gosh, and I could get a laugh and a smile from you, and it would just oh,
Yeah.
and that's when we just hooked, clicked, and ended up spending a lot of time together through those years.
As a result of that, being the coach there, I happened to form and mold your two sons into what they are today. From my, I think they both were in the basketball. We had a basketball summer camp. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where the light came on for them. I would say.
Well, in their rooms, there's still a picture of them with Derek Harper and you and some of the other kids from the school. And wow, you and Coach Giese, boy, y'all had it going on over there. I'm telling you.
I was just talking to him today. So Coach Giese, that brings a great message. So you brought up Covenant Church. Also, the thing that I love the most about your family and my family is that we get together each Christmas time and we do caroling. And you came up with this idea, and I just absolutely look forward to it each year. Why don't you speak on that a little bit?
Well, actually, it goes all the way back to my wife. Sharon, they used to carol in their neighborhood when she was growing up in Grambling, Louisiana. And so we decided, we did it at our old neighborhood, and we brought it. We said, we need to bring that here to where we live now in Highland Village, Flower Mound area. And so it started out with just our family years ago. And then it just started growing. The boys would invite all their friends from the marching band. And so there were some years we'd have like almost a dozen horns. We'd have trumpets and trombones. They'd be playing sax, I'm playing sax, and we'd have percussion. And then you and Charlotte and friends that we have would join us. It would be, gosh, what did we have, like 20, 25 people sometimes?
We had 20, we had tambourine, we had bongo drums.
Well, to show you the effect of it, I was outside in my yard putting up lights. And this car just slowly came around the corner, first part of December, and I heard somebody go, "Hey, hey!" And I looked up like, "What's that?" And the guy leaned out of the car and said, "Please tell me that you and your crew are going to come by the house caroling this year." And I said, "Oh, absolutely, yeah." So we have had some great stories. It's really a great way to connect with our neighbors because everybody's so busy. But that's a great and gosh. With everything that's going on now, reconnecting with people is powerful.
Yes, absolutely. Now, also, there's a couple of times that you've helped out at the school that I'm at now, Faith Christian School. You've come and played at chapels. We've done some Christmas stuff. We did some things with you and Dana, and man, it's been a blessing. They talk about that even to this day. The number of times that you've came and just rendered at our faith chapels.
Wow, great group of kids there. They jumped right in. I remember coming. Thanks for inviting me to do that. And we would just get started with some special music and different things, and they would just jump right in. Well, it was a special. Those are very special. I really enjoyed that.
Did you I want to make sure follow up though. Did you get the checks? Did the checks?
Yeah, those.
I just want to make sure.
The Brinks truck did pull outside and take care of me. So yeah.
So everything. Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure because I know, I would never ask anybody to do anything.
As a matter of fact, I'll be looking for the Brinks truck when this is over.
When this is over.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. For this.
Now, the last thing you've done for me was this concert for Project 55, which was to help sponsor Naomi, which is a Zambian orphan girl who was going to college. And so we've raised some money to do that. And now it came all the way to the fact that she was in your house this past Christmas and went caroling with us. And she's here in Dallas now on quarantine, but still doing school or college online.
Uh-huh.
So man, that was a great concert as well.
Wow, that thing just really came together. I have been to Zambia, and every trip I've had to Africa has been so special. I had never been to Africa, and then the artist we mentioned before, Earl Klugh, is huge over there. And the first trip was just about a month or so after the first gig. His manager said, "Hey, we're going to South Africa. Would you like to go?" And I'm like, "All right, yes." And we played in Johannesburg, and then we went back. We did Mozambique, we did Botswana, we did Zambia, we did Ghana a couple of times. And I mean, it was great. So when you approached me about this benefit, I was really into it. And Eric Willis, who was at that time part of the venue, said, "Hey, we can host it." And the musicians just stepped up like, "Man, we'll be there." And it was a special Sunday afternoon. I had people coming up. I mean, and I'm so glad that it raised some great funds to get
It did.
Naomi taken care of.
It did, and the good part was the musicians that you chose, I believe, were the exact right musicians for the time. They also were just so unbelievably talented, but unbelievably humble and wanted to do it and done it for no charge at all. These are top-notch musicians, and and then even one of them after the concert was over, came up and even donated even further
Wow.
cash money. So it was just a great time. We had a silent auction as well with it, and so we raised a good amount of money. It was quite a blessing.
And when this changes, this situation we're in right now with the coronavirus, we'd like to do another one. I mean,
Yeah,
we had some plans kind of bubbling to the surface when the
this was
whole
happening. So yeah, we
when the
kind of.
shelter in place thing happened. So yeah, we're gonna do another one.
Oh, good, good, good. Well, tell me a little bit of tell. Well, you don't have to tell me, but tell them a little bit about your family. Just a little bit about your family.
Well, I am very blessed. I've been married to Sharon Whitaker Braxton for, gosh, in April it will be 30 years. Oh my gosh.
Big 3-0.
The big 3-0. And it's funny, we were talking the other day. She said, "Well, what are we going to do? We may not be able to go anywhere because it's April 28th."
Oh
But
boy.
yeah, but she is amazing. She's an attorney, but she's also a broadcaster. She grew up in Grambling, Louisiana, and
Hmm.
her father was a vice president and dean of students at Grambling. She was Miss Grambling at the university, and so right now she is busily working on all kind of podcasts and different media and developing things for a company called Legacy Film Development Corp. So she's a busy lady. And then, and I'm helping record some of those. Ian is a senior at Baylor University. Hard to believe. Now, of course, they lost he runs track for them, but there will be no track season this spring
Wow.
because of the
Unbelievable.
coronavirus. But the silver lining is the NCAA has granted them another year. So
Okay.
he will get another year of eligibility, and we're still working all that out. So he will get to run some more.
Okay.
And he is graduating in May, and we're going to see what happens as far as that other year of eligibility. He might be working on a master's. And then Julian is a sophomore at Rice University, and
Wow.
he is on an academic scholarship. And just, I mean, I just love my kids. They're some great boys, and
They are.
very, very thankful for him. And of course, both of them played music, marching band over at Marcus High School, and they love music, and we got the three saxophones whenever they're in town.
I remember a time when I've gone to one of your concerts, and I think it was local here, and your family's there, and you brought the two boys up with their play saxophone. They were playing like plastic,
Yeah.
and they're up there playing the play saxophones, and I thought, wow, wouldn't that be nice if that was real? I never thought that it would be. I thought, well, I didn't know that they were really interested. And now they are up on stage. You guys do all types of things together. And And I know you got it from your dad, who is how old? Tell me.
Dad is a centenarian. Dad in September 18th turned 100 years old
Wow.
and still lives in his own house. Of course, he has caregivers come in and check on him, but he is rolling along. Yes, he is. He is. My mother lived to be 92, so she passed away about 6 years ago. But yeah, Dad is still rolling along. Still plays his violin every once in a while, and he'll pull out a saxophone on you.
Yeah, I've heard him play sax at your house and stuff. Yeah, yes, sir. He can play.
Yes, sir.
I've heard y'all do duets before. Yeah. Awesome. All right, let's do this. Let's do some rapid fire questions. How about that?
Oh,
See,
wow.
I had some questions come in. People wanting to know some of these things, so let's share it. Well, let's see what you think. Tell me right off the bat, what is your favorite song to play?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me think. Wow. Gosh.
All-time favorite song to play.
All-time favorite song to play. Oh man, that's hard. I'd say one that I really do enjoy is from the Endless Highway project, and it is a song called Endless Highway because it was written during the time when I lost a really good friend, Wayman Tisdale.
Yes.
And it was written about the fact that life's not over when we think it's over. And that Wayman was on that great endless highway, which we'll all be on one day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Endless highway. Yes.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed playing that one, but that's a hard question because there's so much great music out there. Oh my gosh.
What when you're listening, what would be your favorite song to hear?
Okay.
That you don't play, that you're not playing, but just to hear someone else play it.
Oh wow. Gosh, that's a hard one too. I like songs that have some level of complexity to them. One of my favorite is just as far as listening to the chords and the way it was played was John Coltrane's "Moment's Notice." It's not one of his more well-known songs, but I just love to sit and listen to how it's done and listen to him play it. It's an amazing composition.
Awesome. Here's a good one. This is a funny one, maybe. What is one of your most embarrassing moments, either on stage or backstage?
Oh my gosh. Well, one comes to mind. I did there was a place in Fredericksburg called the Rock Box Theater. And Fredericksburg is one of the neatest spots. I mean, it's a neat place in Central Texas. And I was invited to do a series of 31 Christmas shows. I think this was back in like 2010 or 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And on during the show, it was a Christmas show. It was laid out. It was beautiful. Loved it. Well, there was one part of the show where I was going to come out. I always came out, and this single light hit me in the middle of the stage, and I recited the first part of Luke about the birth of Christ. You know how in those days, and the angels came, and for 30 shows, I was on it, and then we went into Silent Night. One time I walked out on stage. And I said like the first, I don't know if it was fatigue or what, but I came out and I said the first line and my mind went totally blank. I could not remember the rest. It was just like nothing. I mean, just brainwave. And I could not remember the rest of the chapter or the part I was supposed to do by memory, because this was all by memory.
Right.
And I just went, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Like something like, Jesus is here or something. And the cast recognized that he is in trouble and does not remember what's next. And so they just went to the next part of the show, walked out singing Silent Night. I joined them. And backstage, I said, I am so sorry. And they said, look, you don't understand. This happens more than you know, where we just forget things. And I just, oh man, I totally spaced. And now I just kept going, I can't believe I forgot that, but I did. That's one. There are probably
That's fun.
others,
That's probably
but
others.
that's one.
What's your favorite city to play in?
Oh man. You know, one experience stands out, and that was playing in Tokyo. I played there with Keiko Matsui and with Earl Klugh, and wow, the Japanese respect and appreciation of the music was just awesome. I mean, you could hear a pin drop until you'd play your very last note, and then they would burst into applause, and then they would get quiet again and then it was so quiet you were going, is this okay? Are they all right? Are they listening? You know, but they would be just like this. And then we finished, and when you finished, this was at the Cotton Club in Tokyo, and then you'd walk out and you'd have to walk through the crowd, and you're walking through the crowd and they're just like, please come back, please come back. This was awesome. And then I went out to the CD area, and I'm in Tokyo, and I'm going, nobody knows me over here. I'm from Texas, you know. And this guy walked up to me with a sack of my CDs. He had every CD I had produced, and he said, I am #1 Tom Braxton fan in Tokyo. And he took out all his CDs, and I had to sign all of them. And we had just a meeting on the other side of the world, just had a great time. So I would love to return there. I had a great time there, yes.
What about your go-to meal? Give me a go-to meal after a performance.
You know, now I have to give you two, because there's the road meal and there's the home meal. Okay, so the home meal.
Oh, okay, that's true.
Yeah. When I'm at home, the home meal is a bowl of cereal. It's light. I come in late at night, bowl of cereal. That's it. When I'm on the road, you know, as I've gotten older, I try to eat lighter. So sometimes I actually don't mind doing a little breakfast if it's late at night. I don't mind going out and getting some pancakes or something like that. It just depends on what's open and what's available.
That's true. That's true. So now, okay, this is a good one, I think, and this will be good for most musicians. When you go to festivals and you play, do you stay and listen to other artists, or you just pick up and leave?
Boy, that is a good question. I have done both. Sometimes if you had a long travel day, you're exhausted, you're just like, let's go to the hotel. I am wiped.
I am ready.
Yeah, I am good. Or you may have an early morning the next day. So true. You're like, okay, I'm going and get some rest because I have to be in the lobby at some crazy ungodly hour. Then there are times when, no, I want to hear who's next. I mean, I remember on some tours we're like, oh, they're on the same bill with us. Oh, I'm in. I want to see this artist. And I remember I played with Wayman in Seattle years ago, and the right after us was the Jazz Crusaders. I mean, the Crusaders with Joe Sample and Wilton Felder and Wayne Henderson. And I was like, if y'all need to leave me, it's okay. I'll find my way back. But I'm listening to these guys, and I did. So
awesome. Now, for inspiring, not inspiring, but aspiring musicians, kind of give them your normal practice time or schedule. And with that, you know, like basketball players in the off season, they work on new moves. Mm-hmm. Do you have certain things that you want to add to your thing and to your repertoire as you're playing? Go ahead.
Wow, that is a really good question. The way I like to frame it for people is there are times when you're working on music, like for instance, a jazz cruise, you're preparing music to work with Peter White and Rick Braun or different people. Then there's learning to play the instrument itself.
Right.
Like, for instance, right now, I don't have any upcoming performances, so I'm working on the saxophone. There are aspects of learning to play the instrument that you must revisit, and that I'm even doing it with my students. Just sometimes to go forward, you have to go back, and you go back to those fundamentals, and you start working on, okay, tone production, your all your different kinds of scales, technique and dexterity exercises, so that what I tell my students, and it's true for me too, when you go back to playing the music, you're at another level. And the music, as you ascend in levels, the music gets quote unquote easier. Now, it still may be difficult, but you can handle it better because you are at a whole nother level. So gosh, there's periods where you just can't practice. You have home life, you have different things going on, you have business. You do a lot of business as a self-employed person. People don't realize that. They think, oh, you just sleep till noon, watch soap operas, and go to a gig. They couldn't be more wrong. There's a lot of your on stage time is limited. Most of what you do is business, practice, rehearsing, preparation to do what you do.
Okay.
So if I can get in an hour and a half every day or so, and I wish I could do more, but sometimes that's all I can get.
Pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. Hey, we got just in our last few minutes, man. Would you honor us and give us a little? We make a joke about an A and B selection, and could you give us a little bit of an A selection for the people to hear you a little bit?
Now, halfway through the interview, I realized I left my horn downstairs because I rushed up here.
Okay.
So if you can give me 1 minute,
I'll give you 1 minute.
I don't know if you can pause.
I will talk to the people until you come back. Go right ahead.
Okay, I'm coming.
All right, do it. So here's some of the great artists that he's played with on stage with Dave Koz, Rick Braun, Peter White, Brian Culberson, Bob James, Lee Ritenour, Paul Brown, Paul Jackson Jr., George Duke, Kirk Whalum, Jonathan Butler, Norman Brown, Sheila E., Aretha Franklin, Luther Vandross, and Philip Bailey, who is from the Earth, Wind, and Fire, and just a plethora of people that he's played with. So this is, and then I think that he's played 5 albums, at least 5. It may be a 6th one, but 5 albums. So they are, let me give them to you. The Other Side in 2016, The Next Chapter in 2014, Endless Highway 2009, Imagine This in 2007, Bounce in 2005. Am I right in saying 5 albums?
There are 9 altogether.
9 altogether.
But 5, what are the 5? 5 are released nationally, and then the other 4 you can get online and different things like that. That's how how it breaks down.
Okay, I was naming some of the people that you performed with and gave them all that information. Now that I've built you up, now let's see.
Now, of course, I'm out of breath because I ran up and down the stairs, but I'm still in shape, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do a little bit of an old hymn by Horatio Spafford called "It Is Well."
Beautiful. Love that. Love it. Awesome, brother. Awesome, awesome. I appreciate that, man. I want to thank my friend Tom Braxton for sharing some time with me today. In closing, I'd like to honor my parents, Lee and Cree, and encourage us to unite and just give somebody a smile. And I want to close with just saying Zikomo, which means thank you in Zambian. Have a great day, brother. I appreciate you.
Bless you, man, and thanks for having me on. I'm glad to be, one of many that are coming.
Have a good one, brother. Bless you.
Hanging with her